All right. So in our session today, we're going to be doing some Qigong, particularly focusing on the water element. So Qigong that specifically around our spine, our kidneys. You can think of it as Qigong that's going to help us to flow a bit more. Well, actually, I'll tell you about the plates first, and then I'll come back to that. So we are going to be using some plates or something similar during our session today. So if you want to get yourself some plates, that would be a good idea. You can also use a teacup or a bowl or even a ball or a piece of fruit. There's lots of different things that you can use. We're going to use this in one of the exercises. If you don't have anything like that available, you can just use your hand and imagine you've got something in your hand as well. So you might want to grab those, get organized, and I'll talk a bit more about what we're focusing on. So yeah, we're going to do some Qigong focusing on the water element. So particularly our spine, our kidneys, our bladder, to some extent our knees, our ankles. All of these things relate to the water element. And if you think of water, water flows, right? And so sometimes when we get stuck in our life, there's different things that can cause us to get stuck, but sometimes this will manifest in some blockages within our water element. And particularly if we get blocked up in our lower back, where our kidneys are, it actually affects and starts to block us in every other part of our body because it's right here in the center of our body and affects everything else. So we're going to be doing some practices, particularly that help us to get flowing, help us to get our water element flowing a bit as well. So we're going to be using those plates or whatever else you choose to use a little bit later on. We're going to start with some other practices working with getting that energy flowing first, and we'll be using those a bit later in the session. To begin with, we'll just do some simple joint rotations to get our body moving. So starting with our wrists and rotating at the wrists. And we'll change, we'll go the other way. And out to the elbows. So rotating our joints, it helps to get things moving. It also helps us to start to bring our awareness into our body. We'll rotate the other way. Sometimes our thoughts, our attention is out everywhere else around us, and our energy goes out there with our attention. As we start to move our body, we can start to pay attention inside our body and bring our energy in there as well. So moving on to the waist. Rotations at the waist. Loosening the hips. We're actually going to come back to a movement very similar to this a little bit later on in our session. And the other way. And then to the knees. Rotating at the knees. And the other way. Now the ankles. And the other way. Other ankle. And the other way. Then with the neck, we'll tilt forwards and back, and forwards and back, and forwards and back. And then we'll tilt to one side and the other side. One side and the other side. One side and the other side. Coming up to the center and just twisting your body, letting your arms swing, loosening through the spine. And coming back to the center. So feet shoulder apart. Sink down into your posture, relax down just a little. Back straight, neck long, shoulders open and relaxed, arms loose at your sides. We'll take a few moments to just stand, to be aware of our body. So see if you can be aware of your feet, your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis, your abdomen, your chest, your back, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, your head. Be aware of your whole body. And also tune into your breath. Feel the movement of your breath through your body. As you breathe in, let your whole body expand and rise just a little. And as you breathe out, let your whole body contract and sink just a little. Deep, relaxed breaths. Letting your whole body expand and contract, open and close with each breath. And as your body moves freely with the breath, this allows the rest of your energy to also flow freely. So just standing and breathing, you might start to notice your energy flowing more freely as well. So first movement we're going to do very gently. We're going to bring our hands onto our legs and we're just going to bend forwards. So just gently and slowly, slowly, just coming down, stopping wherever is comfortable for you. We don't want to strain and force ourselves. Just gently relax down and forwards to wherever is comfortable for you. And then slowly, again, hands against the legs, coming back up. And when we come back up, we'll place our hands into our lower back and gently lean backwards, pressing into your lower back with your hands, letting your pelvis come forwards, supporting your back with your hands. Then coming back forwards again. Slowly, gently bending forwards. Just coming to wherever is comfortable for you. And then slowly coming back up. Bring your hands into your lower back. So we're both loosening the lower back with our forwards bend and then supporting it as we bend backwards. As we bend backwards, we're also opening the front of the pelvis for the energy flow around the bladder. So again, one more time coming forwards. And as we come forwards, we feel this gentle opening stretch in our lower back, opening up so that the blood flows more freely, the nerves flow more freely from the area of our lower back and our kidney. And then as we come up, feel those muscles re-engage, pulling together around the kidneys. And then supporting the kidneys as we arch back and open the front of the pelvis. Then coming back upright, leaving your hands in your lower back. Feel the warmth from your hands as well, supporting your kidneys. We're going to do some circling again. This time, keeping our hands in our lower back so we can emphasize the opening of the pelvis forwards and the bending of the body backwards with our hands supporting our kidneys, which allows us to let our spine move a little bit more freely, stretching and opening and loosening on either side of the spine, which allows the nerves to, the energy through the nervous system to flow more freely, allows the blood to flow more freely, bringing energy gently into our kidneys, into our bladder. And we'll change directions, going the other way, loosening up, very gently loosening up our lower back in a supported way, from one side to the other with the circular movement, helping to relieve any stiffness here, which is going to help us to flow. And one more circle. All right, just coming back upright into the center. Lower your hands. So we started to open up this area around our lower back, our pelvis, to get the energy flowing. Now we're going to work with getting it nicely aligned up through the spine. So we bring our hands together. We'll breathe in, raising our hands up. Breathe out, lowering the hands down. Breathe in. So we're creating a very gentle stimulation up and down through the center of our body, helping up to line up left and right. Breathe out, which helps to line up this water energy which flows through our spine. We'll breathe in, coming up. Breathe out, lowering down. Breathe in, centering and aligning our energy. And out. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. This time we'll breathe in, we'll bring our hands up to the center of our chest, fingers pointing up, and step our feet close together. We're now going to work with some lateral movement through our spine. So we're going to bend our knees and turn our shoulders across to one side, letting the hips tilt the other way and extending the hands out. So we have this lateral movement through our spine, gently opening the side of our spine. We turn the hands, we come back through the other way, and we feel it open, stretch very gently through the other side of our spine. We turn. This movement is called a swimming dragon. It's one of many different swimming dragon movements. Great for this lateral movement through the spine, which lets the water energy flow more freely from the kidneys up through the spine. And as we do this, it's not just a stretch to the side. You can feel there's a sinuous waving motion going from one side to the other through the spine. So just very gently breathing naturally, coming side to side, opening up the flow through the spine. And now we're going to start to descend our hands. So each time, as we go to one side and then the other, we're just going to come down a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And this works through different areas of our spine, opening them up more. And we're going to then come right down, bringing our hands quite close to the ground. And then gradually we'll come up little by little, freeing up, opening the movement through the spine. And now we're going to bring our hands gradually upwards. So each time coming a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, until we bring our hands all the way up, and then bringing them back down to the center of our chest. We're now going to get some twisting movement going through our spine. We're going to do a standing water posture. So for this, we're going to step one leg across behind us, and then our arms go in the opposite direction. So there's a twist right through our body. We don't want to just have our hands pointing the same way. There's a twist. We'll then step across to the other side, step the leg behind, and then our hands go out to the opposite side. Our palms of our hands face down, our elbows also hang down, our shoulders are relaxed, and we sit down into the posture. We're going to repeat this several times to each side, and as we do this, we're going to spend longer in it each time. You might also find that you feel like you can go a little bit deeper into the posture each time. Don't strain, just go as deep as is comfortable for you, and feel the twisting stimulation which comes up. It comes all the way from your legs, of course, but you'll probably particularly feel it in your lower back, this twisting which stimulates the kidneys and then continues up through the rest of the spine. We'll step across to the other side. So again, only go as low as is comfortable for you. You might just go here. You might stay quite high. Or if you're comfortable, again, as you repeat, you might find that you feel comfortable going a bit deeper, a bit lower. And when we do this, we get a stronger stimulation of that water element within our energy. Again, we'll step across Out to the other side, the leg steps behind, arms go the opposite way. Breathe, deep, relaxed breaths. Feel the twisting, flowing sensation through your body, right through your whole body, from your feet, up through your waist, up, out through your spine, out through your shoulders, into your arms. We'll change across to the other side. So you can think of this as you move into this twist. Think of it like a river going around bends, twisting and turning and flowing. The energy is twisting and turning and flowing through your body, through this big twist in this standing water posture. Deep, relaxed breaths. Each breath, as we breathe in, it creates a little stretch from expanding our body for the breath. And then as we breathe out, it creates a little release. So each breath helps to keep the energy moving inside our body. We'll change across to the other side. Step your foot behind. So we're doing once more on this side. We'll do once more on the other side. Deep, relaxed breaths. Let the energy flow, twisting and turning. Once more across to the other side, stepping across. Deep, relaxed breaths. And coming back to the center. Lowering your hands. So we've been doing quite a few movements, postures, which stimulate our kidneys and then up through our spine. This helps the energy start to flow and rise. We're going to continue with this with our next movement. For this movement, we breathe in, crossing our arms in front of our body. And then we breathe out, opening the hands gently to the sides, hands open. So we breathe in, crossing the arms. And we breathe out, opening, hands open, nice and relaxed, open out to the side. So this movement is called the fountain. And so as we breathe in, we're drawing energy up through the center of our body. And then as we breathe out, gently lowering the arms, the energy continues to rise upwards. So you can think of this as drawing the energy up and out through the top of our head. So we bring it all the way up and then out. So we breathe in, the energy comes up from the earth, up through the center of our body. And then we breathe out, the energy continues to rise upwards, out through our head. Breathe in, letting that energy flow all the way up through the center of our body and releasing outwards. Now to make this movement a little bit stronger, we can also engage our legs a little bit more. So we sink into the movement. So we breathe in, and then we breathe out, sink. So we breathe in, we gently rise just a little with our legs. Breathe out, sink. Our legs also help to pump the energy through. Very relaxed. Breathe in, drawing energy up through the center. Breathe out. Let the energy continue its upwards flow. Breathe in, bring the energy up through its center. And breathe out, continuing its upwards flow. We'll do 3 more of these. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So this time we'll breathe in. We'll bring our arms up again. And we'll bring them all the way up. So a famous saying goes, what goes up must come down. We focused on the upwards flow with the fountain. And now we're going to focus on the downwards flow back down with a gentle rain. So very simply, we breathe in, lifting the hands, and then breathe out, turning the hands towards us and washing the energy down, down over our whole body. So we breathe in, lifting our hands up, and we breathe out, gentle rain, washing down. And maybe you can feel the sensations of the energy washing down over your body. Breathe in, lifting your hands up. Breathe out, it washes down over your head, over your face, over your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your abdomen, your back, your pelvis, your legs, all the way down to your feet, down to the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we make a harmonious balance, a harmonious flow between yin and yang, between rising and falling, allowing fresh energy to flow through us. Breathe in and breathe out, and also allowing fresh energy to wash down over us, letting the energy flow freely. We'll do 3 more of these. Breathe in, lifting your hands up, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. So if maybe you're watching the recording of this, or you feel like just a very gentle practice, that might be enough. You might want to finish your practice there, stimulate your water element. You might then finish it maybe by putting your hands on your dantian to let your energy settle. We're going to work with something else today though, something that's quite fun. And again, it continues to work with the water element. It also works with fire quite a lot. And so really it works with the circulation. So fire and water combined, the circulation of energy right through our whole body. Specifically, we are going to notice quite a lot of movement in our spine. But again, it's going to be much more than that. It's going to be a twisting, spiraling movement that stimulates right through our whole body. So this is what we're going to want those plates for, or whatever else it might be that you've chosen to use, a bowl or a cup or a ball, whatever it is you're going to use. It's a fun practice. You can take it to some really interesting places if you want to go deep into it. but a fun one to explore at least a little bit. So if you haven't done this before, you just relax, have some fun. You don't need to take it too seriously. Hopefully don't worry if you drop the plate or anything like that. Just go slowly and you'll feel this stimulation right through the whole body. So this movement it's a little bit easier if you put your feet out a bit wider, so you've got a really stable base under you as you do things. And we're going to start with just one plate, one bowl. Later on we'll try using two. So we're going to have our hands by our waist. So this is essentially based on the people serving tea in the fancy tea houses in China, and often they'll become very elaborate and do all sorts of fancy things, moving the tea around before they serve it. And this is essentially what this movement is based on. So we'll have one hand on our waist, the other one beside our waist with our plate or whatever we're using. If you don't have a plate, you can just use the palm of your hand. And we're going to extend out across on the diagonal as if we were offering someone the plate. But then we bring it around in a big circle. We bring it all the way behind us, keeping the plate facing upwards, of course. And then we bring it all the way around so it comes underneath our arm, and we're back to the starting point. So we'll repeat that again. We reach across on the diagonal, and then we bring the hand out. So it's best to go slowly to begin with. We bring it all the way behind, keeping the palm facing up. Bring it all the way back around in front, and then back to our same starting position. We'll go one more, extend out, across in the diagonal, and then we bring it around, all the way behind, all the way around to the side, and back to the starting point. We're going to keep working with this one arm, and we'll try going slowly in the opposite direction. So this time we're going to draw our hand back behind us, bring it out to the side, around, over our head, back in front, and then draw it back to our waist. Again, nice and slow. So again, as you do this, you can probably feel this twisting stimulation all the way through your whole body, a lot particularly through your spine, but it goes through everywhere, through your hips, through the side of your body, your arms, your shoulders, your legs. We come back beside the waist. Once more, opening up behind, around to the side, over, and coming back in. We'll switch to the other hand now. Put the other hand on the waist. We'll extend out across on the diagonal, open out around, big circle which comes over your head. We come around to the side, back, underneath to the waist. Extend out, big circle, all the way behind, all the way around, and back. One more, reach across on the diagonal, come out, all the way around, over the head, and come back to the waist. Good, now we'll change directions. So we'll come out, behind, out to the side, over the head, around, and back in to the waist. Again, behind, out to the side, around, over the head, and back to the waist. One more. Big circle. And back to the waist. We'll change to our other hand again. So we're going nice and slow, and that's definitely a good way to start these movements and even to continue with them for a while. So we won't go too fast now, but we'll try making it smoother, continuous motion, right? So we're going to come across to the front, around, behind, to the front, around, behind, to the front, around, behind, and we have this continuous movement spiraling through our body. Good. I can see some of you look like you're doing that quite well. If you're having a few issues, that's fine. Just have some fun with it. And we'll pause. And again, we'll try to do a continuous smooth movement going the other way. So out, behind, around over the head, and back and front. Behind, round over the head, back and front. Continuous movement. Just go at a speed that's comfortable for you. You don't necessarily have to go at exactly the same speed as me. You might want to go a little bit slower. You also might want to try a little bit faster. Just have a play with this movement. And then we'll come back and pause. You can probably feel, if you pay attention to your body now, you've probably been focusing very much on your hand. You can probably feel how everything's opening up and things are flowing from this movement. All right, so the other hand will come forwards and make a continuous movement with the forwards motion. So we come across, above, around, across, above, around, across, making a continuous motion. Spiraling. Again, go slower or faster as feels comfortable for you. And then we'll come and pause and change, going back the other way. Back, through, around, back, through, around, back, through, around, spiraling, circulating through the whole body. We'll do just a couple more. All right, cool. Hopefully a bit of fun. Now we're going to try the really challenging ones. We'll get two, one in each hand. And again, if you want to just use your hands rather than using plates or some other object, that's fine. Having something in your hand gives you some sensory feedback. In some ways, it makes it easier actually to do the movement, but then also at the same time, there's some potential you may drop something. So that's okay. So we'll start with our hands at our waist. And so from here, we're going to reach one hand across, out, around, behind. As the hand comes up high, we're now going to reach the other one out. And so we're going to have two hands moving in opposite directions at the same time. And we'll bring the hands back to the waist. And we'll try going the other way again. So we're going to come back, out. As it starts to come around, now we'll bring the other one back. So we've got the hands moving, coordinated in opposition to each other. Both hands moving, spiraling at the same time. We'll just do a couple more of these. And then bringing your hands back to your waist. All right, we'll put down the plates or whatever else you may have been using. Again, hopefully a bit of fun. So we're just going to, so that it's quite active in terms of the way it stimulates the circulation, the energy flow right through the whole body. We're just going to do just a little bit to cool down, to integrate that energy to finish our session. So nice relaxed posture, feet shoulder apart. We'll breathe in, bringing our hands up. Breathe out, lowering down in front. Breathe in. Raise up. Breathe out. Down. So as we're breathing in, raising the arms, we're bringing the energy up the spine. And breathe out, bringing it down the front of your body. Harmonizing yin and yang. Breathe in. Integrating the energy into our system. Breathe out. And one more. Breathe in. And out. And bringing your hands around into the back of your body. We're going to massage with circles on our kidneys, our lower back. Then pat down the back, outside of our legs, up the front inside, out the inside of one arm, up the back of the arm, out the other arm, up the back of the arm, over your face, your head, your neck, down your back, all the way down to your feet, coming up the front inside of the legs, out one arm, out the other arm, your face, your head, your neck, coming down, out the arms, the head, and stopping at the waist. Bring your hands back to the front of your body. And just let the energy settle inside. As you do this, again, notice your energy. See if you notice any change in the quality of your energy, the flow of your energy from the practice that we've been doing. And just let the energy balance and stabilize, settle in your lower dantian. Okay, and we'll finish our practice there. We've got some time, we can have some discussion. First, I need to attend to a little dog who's got herself stuck. There you go. Look, look. Oh, silly dog. Wanted to get out, then saw her toy and decided she didn't. All right. Okay, so I will allow people to unmute themselves. Cool. So, a little bit of a different session, hopefully a little bit of fun. Hopefully no one broke anything. But you can actually, as I mentioned, you can go quite far with this. There's some quite interesting things and patterns you can do and so on. A bit of a challenge for the coordination to get into those, but really great in terms of getting the stimulation flowing right through your whole body. So does anyone have any comments, any questions, any observations, anything like that that they'd like to share?
Aren't those exercises for the brain as well, when you're doing one thing with the left, one with the right, because you're playing with the right and left hemisphere?
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, when, I was talking about, we've done a lot focusing on the water element within this session, and this practice has a lot of water in it, the way it works through the spine, but also a lot of fire. So those practices that combine water and fire often have a strong relationship to the pericardium and the triple warmer. So the circulation, and then also essentially the things that sit outside of the organs, which actually includes the brain. And so the circulation to the brain and the activity of the brain. So yeah, a lot of those water-fire combinations really do get into that.
Yeah, John, I thought I'd say that I really appreciated the beginning, the change in the warm-up, which was familiar, but you did some things that were new.
Sure.
And I think particularly, at least for me and for many people, the work with freeing up a little bit of motion in the lower lumbar, really critical, because it those vertebrae down there, right down there, can all but fuse together if they're not sort of moved and articulated in a different direction. So that was an insight for me today, just because we did something different with the warm-up. So thanks.
Yeah, look, and there's lots of different movements, lots of different ways that we can work with different parts of our body and different aspects of our energy. And it's nice to explore some different ones. And also, you might find that, there are some particular ones that really work really well for you. And this is, part of the benefit of trying some different things. You might go, well, this one's good, this one's good, this one's really good. Wow, I can really feel that helps me particularly. So our lower back has this strong relationship with our kidneys, of course, because our kidneys sit there and there's all this activity from there, from the nerves in the lower back into the kidneys. There's a number of reasons why our kidneys can be or our lower back, we can have challenges with it these days. Excuse me, can you hear that dog barking? Is that coming too?
He's bad.
I might see if I can settle her down. Just give me a moment.
Call him silly. Of course he's I think that's his bodyguard dog, the guard dog. It might be a lizard outside. Go get it. Yeah.
It's funny. I think sometimes she barks more for attention than anything else. So yeah.
Like many people do.
So yeah, so a few reasons why we there's a tendency to have challenges with our lower back. So one is just postural habits. We all tend to spend a lot of time sitting these days, and when we're sitting, things aren't particularly moving much in our lower back. Whereas when we're moving around, even just things like walking, when we're walking, there's this alternating activity through one side of the back and then the other, which keeps things moving. It stops it from getting stuck. So part of it is postural habits of things that we're doing with our activity. But then the other big aspect really is stress. Our kidneys, we've got the adrenal glands right on top of them, and they act as the ignition system for a lot of the energy within our body. They sort of kick things into action. And so if we're constantly feeling like we've got too much to do and we're having to try too hard at different things, we build this tension in our lower backs because they're really struggling to get the system working strongly enough to support us, in whatever we need to do. So physical movement, really useful for getting things to flow through there, but also things like just learning to relax more about things, and then when we relax, we can move more freely as well. All right.
I could manage one plate, but two just got confused.
Yeah, and of course that's totally fine. A bit of a fun, different session today. Plates, again, like I said, different methods, different movements. You might find, oh, that one I really love, that one not so much. For some people, like, oh, plates. Actually, I'm gonna really spend some time with plates. For other people, it's like, it's fun to try, but maybe not my thing. Yeah. Cool. Well, look, thanks for coming along, everyone. I think we'll finish our session now. So we're going to have one more week of this next week. And I did put a note about that where the links are on the website. We're going to have one more week, and then we'll have a break for a few weeks over as we head into the holiday season. Lots of different things happening. So I'll put updates on the website later on as well. But we are on next week, and then there'll be a gap after that. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.